Welcome back, guys. Looks like we're talking about good old Dragon Age the Veilguard once again. Some very good entertainment is to be had here. Let's start with this. Daniel Vavra, co-founder of Warhorse Studios, the dev studio behind Kingdom Come Deliverance, and he was also the lead writer on Kingdom Come Deliverance, as well as Mafia and Mafia 2, made this tweet earlier today, reading, "Wow, 7 years old game versus recent release." Going on to show a comparison here of Kingdom Come Deliverance, released back on February 2018, with Dragon Age the Veilguard released on October 31st, 2024. And we can see Kingdom Come Deliverance achieving an all-time peak of around 96k, with Veilguard having 89k, and even beating them in the 24-hour peak as well, with Kingdom Come Deliverance having 10.9k versus Veilguard's 10.7k. It's a base post that would certainly upset the Veilguard shills out there. Although I do feel bad for the Dragon Age fans out there who are not happy with Veilguard, it's a real shame what happened to their series. Which takes us over to the next part. In an act of immense desperation, BioWare has released the Dragon Age Veilguard character creator for free. You can see Kotaku here reporting on it, trying to prop this act up, trying to hype people up for this. Saying also, one of the many great things Dragon Age the Veilguard has to offer is its robust character creator. It's so thorough that some players have spent dozens of hours creating and perfecting their versions of protagonist Rook, as well as the Inquisitor, their hero from Dragon Age Inquisition. Leading up to launch, fans were hoping developer BioWare would put the creation suite out ahead of the game itself, so we could have time to mess around with it in advance, and jump right into the game itself on launch. BioWare didn't do that, but the studio is finally releasing the character creator for free as part of today's officially unofficial Dragon Age Day on December 4th. So this comes off hilariously desperate in my opinion, because BioWare had decided to actively not release the character creator before the game's release, and now like a month after the game's release, they're like, you know what, actually here's the character creator for free. Seemingly to try and get people to make a character that they then want to play in the game, which obviously they're hoping would result in increased sales for the game. Something that it seems like Veilguard desperately needs. But hold on, because it's actually more amusing than that even. When you take a look back at the news of how BioWare had seemingly been very selective with who they decided to give early review copies of Veilguard to, and you also take a look at those reviews and how many of those people were propping the character creation up, which may have been genuine, or maybe that was a talking point BioWare kind of nudged them towards. Regardless, the point is the same. BioWare had seemingly attempted to make the character creator a big selling point and decided not to release it early, therefore hoping people would see the reviews where people are like, oh, this character creator is so great, and that it would be part of what would influence them to then therefore buy the game.
He, him, she, her, and they, them, and then your gender is man, woman, non-binary. Love that. Love the inclusivity. Top surgery scars are also included in this for all of our trans and non-binary rooks out there. I absolutely was blown away by this. It's beautiful to see the inclusion in the game and to see yourself represented.
Veilguard's given like the absolute worst lighters for female anatomy, like an absolutely minimal impact, to which many women did call out. But then you see other people ignoring these issues and propping this character creator up as the greatest thing ever simply because they put in he, him, she, her, they, them pronouns and like one single surgery scar option, which is just comedic and hypocritical because they're like, oh, our representation is so great, but they've selectively left out entire demographics. It just makes all of this seem so shallow and fake, and they really should have spent more time just making a good game instead of trying to make this a desperate selling point and now desperately releasing it later as some free thing. This game is so cooked. On the PlayStation 5 subreddit, this news was posted about the free character creator thing being released, and the comments are all just roasting it. I mean, well, first of all, there's barely any engagement here to begin with, which shows that there's just such a lack of interest for people wanting to play this game. But we'll take a look at some of the few comments that it did get, including top comment being why, response saying exactly what I came to say. I guess they really want people to play around with all these flat slider options and apply those surgery scars as many times as possible, or make an Eric Stoltz 1985 mask Canary. Other ones saying okay, it really isn't even all that good of a character creator to be honest, and love the chest and glutes options. You can go from totally flat to almost totally flat. However, one response would say great, it's the best character creator out there. To which someone else says, I'm about to sick my Dragon's Dogma 2 on you. And the other person says, don't even know what that means. That person then explaining, saying, you should check out the character creator for Dragon's Dogma 2. I think it's still available on PSN separately from the game. It's one of the best character creators, hands down. To which the Veilguard shill actually says, I've seen it. This one is better. And then a response says, unless you want to make a feminine body. And someone else says, or even just a person. with some decently developed glutes. While we're over here on Reddit, let's wrap this up by having some laughs by going over to the Dragon Age the Veilguard subreddit. I've seen a lot of delusional like echo chamber subreddits out there, and this one is seriously at the top. Before we even go there though, let me just explain this for anyone not familiar with this subreddit. But pretty much every day there's various top posts of people just complaining about people who criticize the game. It's such an echo chamber. If you're not an outright shill, you'll probably get banned, or at the very least heavily downvoted, and then probably also banned. For example, a top post from just 24 hours ago says media literacy is dead, and the person then attempts to make the argument that if you criticize the lore retcons and inconsistencies in the writing for Veilguard, that you actually just don't have any media literacy. Getting upset at people for criticizing corpos who did a bad job with their writing and lore retcons, trying to say that the critics are just media illiterate, is an insane level of cope. But hey, that's an example of a top post from our Veilguard. Another top post from 20 hours ago says, "This game is good actually? Where's all the hate coming from? I was very sad to see the review from Skill Up trash this game hard. Then everyone jumped on the bandwagon. I couldn't find a single reviewer I watched to give it any praise. The dialogue sucks, the combat sucks, yada yada. I wasn't terribly surprised by this, but I noticed something strange when I watched a YouTuber named Mauler play through the beginning. He didn't even try to engage with it even slightly. From second one of the game starting, he created a hideous abomination, YouTuber haha funny, and started complaining the second the game started. This is a trend I've noticed. I decided, you know what, screw it. I played every Dragon Age so far and found things to like in all of them regardless of their quality. Cough, Dragon Age 2, cough. I'm playing the new Dragon Age. So I played it, and it's good? Like, pretty dang fun. Does it get way worse partway through the game? I'm pretty early in, and I just don't get the complaints I've heard, like, wow, cringe dialogue. You mean like every other Dragon Age? Dragon Age Origins is my favorite game of all time, but let's not pretend it was a masterpiece completely free from bad dialogue. I swear I'm the bravest one here, and I'm a woman. Oghren fantasizing about Hespith and Branka, Leliana breaking into song in her DLC. The other Dragon Age games weren't perfectly written. But you know, things can be more nuanced than that. They don't need to be perfectly written to be better than Veilguard's writing. Overall, I don't get the sense that the dialogue is especially bad in this game like everyone claims. Certainly not literally every conversation. I honestly just don't get the hate this time, and half suspect it's just, you minorities, you non-binary. And I hate to say that, I really do. But just like Spider-Man 2, I feel this game is getting unwarranted hate because of a bandwagoning pioneered primarily by the anti-woke crowd. TLDR, I'm never trusting what other people say again before I play/watch something myself. So they gave examples of people disliking the dialogue, the story, and the combat, but they dismissed that and instead try and say that people just don't like it because of minorities. In other words, their argument is attempting to stand up against bigotry, but they're the ones actually being bigoted. People gave examples of various things they dislike about the game, and once again, this person dismisses all that and then tries to pin it all on minorities. These people are so insanely tone deaf. But yeah, that's the Veilguard update. Let me know what you think about the Kingdom Come Deliverance tweet at the beginning. Or, you know, specifically Daniel Vavra's tweet, I should say. As well as Veilguard releasing the character creator for free now, and that silly subreddit stuff at the end. As always, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed my coverage. If you did, consider liking and or subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.